Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary Jane and today I'll be showing you guys how to make bitter leaf soup or Onugbu soup in Igbo language. This soup is so delicious, so delicious. It tastes as good as it looks. Stay with me while I take you through the process. So the first ingredient is our cocoyam, already washed and boiled. Next is our fresh Ponmo, the cow skin. I'm using the fresh one for this recipe. We have our yellow and red peppers, our dried catfish, stockfish fillets and the stockfish head. I blended crayfish. I also have some blended prawns. My ogiri, Igbo. This is very important when making bitter leaf soup. You can't do without it when making this recipe. And next is my Uziza leaves. I'll be using just few leaves for this recipe. I have some salt and seasoning cubes, my palm oil, my goat meat, my beef and assorted meat, and then finally my bitter leaf. This is the chief ingredient of this recipe. So let's start cooking. To a neat pot, I've added my assorted meat and my beef. I'll also be adding my goat meat. So to season, I'll be using just seasoning cubes and salt. This soup doesn't need onion. You don't need to add onion when preparing this soup. But if you are a fan of onion and you can't do without it, maybe you can go right ahead and do what you like, but this soup doesn't need onion. So I steamed it for about 5 minutes, and now I'm just going to stir it and add some water. After adding the water, you stir it some more to make sure everything is properly mixed, and then you cover and allow it boil. So the next step is to prep my fish, and to do this I'm running some hot water over them. Always make sure you do this step because you don't know what chemical or storage method they used in storing this fish before you bought them, and it will also help you get rid of sand or dust in the fish. So about 8 minutes later, my meat is boiling, or it's not yet done. So I'll be adding my stockfish fillet now because it's a bit tough. I'm not adding the head now because I don't want it to shatter into little pieces. So I'll just add the fillet now, and then I'll be adding the head later. So this is what our cocoyam looks like after peeling off the skin. I'm just going to go ahead to blend it using my blender. So here is 10 minutes later and our meat is almost done. I'll be adding some Cameroon pepper. This meat is quite tough, the assorted meat especially. So I'm cooking this on high heat because I want it to get soft very quick. I've added my blended pepper, and now I'm adding my stockfish head. Like I earlier said, I don't want to add the head earlier because if you boil it for so long, it's just going to shatter, it's just going to break into little pieces. So this is the perfect time to add it. And I'm also adding my omo now because it's already pre-cooked, so I don't want it to cook for too long so it doesn't get too soft. So I let it boil for about 6 minutes, and my meat, my beef and assorted meat is soft and tender now. And now I'm just going to continue the cooking. Once the meat is soft and tender, you want to start building up the base of the soup. At this point, you just need to make sure the base of the soup is very concentrated and tasty, because sometimes the outcome of the soup depends on how delicious the base is. So at this point, if your soup isn't tasting nice, you need to work on it. So I let it boil some more just to make sure the meat is very, very soft. And then I went in with my palm oil. I'm just going to let the palm oil boil for about 2 minutes before adding my cocoyam. So 2 minutes later, and my soup is already looking so pretty. I'm just going to give it a nice stir before adding in my cocoyam. You can see how smooth and how fine the texture of this cocoyam is. If you don't have a blender, you can always use a mortar and a pestle to pound the cocoyam. But if you do have a blender, please stick with the blender. It's stress-free and you get a smoother texture at the end of the day. So I let it boil for about 3 to 4 minutes. And next I'll be adding my ogiri. This is a banger. This ingredient is a banger when making bitter leaf soup. You can't overlook it. If you're making bitter leaf soup without this ogiri, then that soup is incomplete. Trust me, it's very, very incomplete. But also have in mind that this ogiri has a very not so good smell, but then who cares? What matters is what it does to your soup. That's all that matters. The smell is irrelevant. Few minutes later, and my soup is already looking so delicious. I'm just going to spice it up by adding some salt, seasoning cube. I have a little crayfish that I left from the first time. I'm just going to add it up, and Cameroon pepper. This Cameroon pepper is so necessary when making the soup. Don't ignore it. I've also added my Uziza leaves. So I'm just going to stir it and let it boil some more before adding my catfish. So next is my catfish. You can see it's already in some little pieces, so that's why I'm adding it at this point. I don't want it to completely disappear into the soup. Plus, adding it towards the end of the cooking makes the taste more vibrant. It adds a lot of flavor to the soup compared to adding it at the initial stage. So my soup is ready now, and I'm adding the final ingredient, not the final one. I'm adding the bitter leaf. This is the main ingredient of the soup. I'm just going to let it boil for about 2 minutes, and then I'm going in with my prawns. If you've not been adding this blended prawn to your soup, to your bitter leaf soup especially, you are missing. This is a game changer. This is going to take your soup from normal level to advanced level. This is just going to really upgrade the iOS of your soup. I'm not kidding. I'm not. After adding your prawns, just thoroughly stir it, and your soup is ready. It's ready to be served. You can serve with fufu, pounded yam, whatever you prefer. So guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you do like this video. I hope you give this video a thumbs up, and most importantly, please subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification. I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. Till then, take good care of yourself. Make sure you cook bitter leaf soup this week. See you guys next time. Bye.